Hello, everybody. This is the Swirling Brain, and somebody asked on one of the videos, how do I 3D print this thing? Because I'm having trouble 3D printing it. So I thought I would share what I do. I'm not sure I'm going to be super helpful, but I'll try at least. Maybe it'll help somebody. So anyway, that's what the purpose of this video is. And so what I usually do, I have a Creality 3D printer. Now, of course, everybody has a different one, but I open this 3D printer slicer program, and that's what I use. So yours is going to be different, of course. You're going to have your own program or slicer. I don't know, maybe you do have a Creality, I don't know. But what I do is I just import the each pipe individually. You can see like here's the lead pipe. And what I do is I select 0.1 layer height, because 0.1, what that does is each layer kind of looks like little donuts under the microscope, I guess. And so it has, the finer the layer height, the less bumps you're going to have on the inside of the pipe. It's going to be a little smoother. So that's why I use 0.1. If you use like 0.2 or 0.3 or something, it's just going to have a whole lot of little bumps in there. I don't know, maybe that's fine. I don't know. But 0.1 seems to be a little bit better. Of course, that's going to make it take a lot longer to print. So there's that. But that might help make it sound a little better. I don't know if it does or not, but it seems like it does. I usually choose to enable support. Now for this particular part, probably don't need it. But I usually enable support, and then of course I don't have multicolor, so I don't need to worry about a prime tower. And then on the what I usually do is I turn on brim, and so what that does is it's going to put a little brim on the bottom. It keeps it this part from falling over whenever it's printing. If you don't have that brim, sometimes it'll get so high and then the little print head will knock it over, and then you'll have to start all over again. So that's what I usually do as far as the part. So then you just slice it, and okay, well, get out of the way. And you can see it puts a little brim on the bottom, and the layer heights are really fine. So you can look at those layer heights. I don't really care, but and then I just send that to the printer. And of course I have like a little Wi-Fi connection to it, which is kind of nice. And so hit send and it'll transfer it over to the printer, and then I can print it over there. You can actually hit start print and it'll start printing immediately if you want, but I don't really want to print this right now. I already printed one. So anyway, that's what I do for the pipes. Like I said, I usually print them vertically. If you if you roll it over to the side, let's see, what can we do to roll it over the side? Was it this one? Yeah. If you roll it over the side, the problem is that you're going to have supports on it and stuff. And so that's going to make it kind of a pain. Yeah, so you can have all those supports on it, and that really tears up the print quality. And plus on the inside, what you'll end up having is these little stalactites that'll show up, because like your print head will like print and then it'll droop, and then it'll for some of these upper layers that are really close to the top. So then all those stalactites that are in there is going to mess up your airflow. So don't put it on its side. That's just going to mess it up. So don't do that. Okay. And then, of course, what else we got here? Let's import another one. We got the curved pipes. And of course, you need two of these. So let's copy and paste. And we can have two on the print bed, and kind of don't put them super close together, maybe ½ inch apart or something. And there again, start off from the top. We got 0.1 layer height, and then we want three or four walls. I don't know if I did it on the other part or not, but yeah, you want 3 or 4 walls. That helps with keeping the air from leaking out of the, because like each layer has maybe a little microscopic gap, and the less walls you have, the more chances that air can come out of it. Like if you were to try to 3D print a cup and put water in it, it would probably leak out with one wall, Whereas if you had 3 or 4 walls, maybe it wouldn't leak out. Of course, I still wouldn't drink out of it because you have all those crevices for bacteria to get into. But you know what I mean. Just like the more walls you have, the more likely it is to hold the air in. So that's probably going to keep it from sounding airy. So yeah, make it 3, make it 4. That's the if you're having trouble with that, try just upping the number of walls. Okay, and then you want to enable support also. Now I'm using tree support, and that to me is like the best thing in the world. I like the tree supports, so definitely use those. And then for this particular part, you probably don't need brim, so you can turn that back off and slice it. And you can see what it did. You've got all these tree supports, makes little trees that'll stick under there and hold it up. And the trees are actually even inside there to hold the inside of the tube up so you don't get those stalactites. So yeah, that's really nice. And the fine, you still see the layer height, the layer lines. Yeah, you see the trees inside there. But yeah, you want to try to get as fine as you can so it kind of hides some of those layers, and it gets a little more smooth inside when you have those finer layers. So that's what you want. Okay, and then of course you can send that to the printer. Okay, so let's get rid of that, and let's look at the manifold. And for this manifold, what you'll want to do is the same thing. We'll start from the top again. 0.1, 3. And you want to enable supports. And this one you don't really need the brim, so you can just leave that alone and slice it. And then the creality is kind of neat because the tree supports are sort of fractalized or whatever, so you'll see they're big at the bottom and they kind of work their way up to small at the top. So that kind of works really well for making that, and it doesn't really stick to the inside of the walls or anything, so that works out really well. So definitely that's the way to go if you're going to try to print it. Of course, you would send that. Now you're saying, now Swirling Brain, if I don't have tree supports on my program, okay, well that's sad, but there's something you can do. You can load a different software, and I've got let's get rid of that Mesh Mixer. You can find that for free on the internet, and let's import that manifold. Now you can see it put it up, like there's the build plate way down there. It put it way up here in the air. I don't know why it does that. Maybe it's something I did when I copied it. Let's see, you can tell it to, where's a line? Align, and then you say accept, and it puts it on the build plate. Now that build plate's way down there, so it's hiding somewhere. If I can find it. There you go. So there's the build plate now. It's in the middle of the build plate. So that's what Align did. Okay, once you got that, then you can tell it to do the inspector, I think. No, not the inspector. Let's see, do the overhangs. Overhangs, that's what it is. Look for overhangs, and you see it highlights where it thinks overhangs are, which really, anywhere it's red, which you can't see it because it doesn't want to rotate for me there, but if you can see underneath there, that'd be red. Anywhere there's red underneath it is where it's going to try to put a tree support. Now these tree supports are not fractalized. These are going to be like a straight line sort of thing. So yeah, you kind of go through these settings, and you can change the way these tree supports are to match yours. Like for example, on mine I have it set for 5mm post diameter, and if you're having trouble with your posts falling over, you can increase that to something more. So yeah, try playing around with that. I like the base diameter being a little bigger so it sticks to the build plate. But then once you get the way you like it, changing all these little settings. Oh, the tip diameter is just like where it touches the part. Yeah, make that small so you can break it off easy. And 45 degrees is like, the angle that the tree will hit it at if it has to reach over to it. Okay, so generate, and this takes a lot longer than the Creality printer does. So give it a moment. Oh, well, actually, it went pretty fast this time. Okay, and you can see these tree supports. That's the 5 diameter. This is the 8 millimeter base, and this is where it touched. And you can see it kind of, it's okay. It'll work in a pinch. So once you get that the way you like it, just hit done and export that. And I already made one before, but let's replace it. Okay, and you can get out of this program now. You don't have to save it. Okay, let's get back into the slicer program and import that. And you can see that's what it looks like with the tree supports. So anyway, that's what you can do if your support material isn't great. Some printers, when you try to do tree support or try to do any kind of supports, it does those line kind of supports, and those things are murder to take off your print and everything. So I would say skip those and load Mesh Mixer and do these supports instead. They're still a little tough to get off, but they're not as bad as those line supports are. So yeah, that can be really murder. I can see why people don't like doing that. So then once you got that, then just slice it and send it to the printer. Yeah, so that's that. So I don't know if you have any other questions. What you might be having trouble with your trying to print it. Yeah, you might want to try to print like as slow as possible. Like this one, you can choose. Like standard is 100%, which this one I don't know if it does 600 millimeters per second. I'm not sure what it is, 300 or 600. But anyway, you can slow it down, and that'll give it less warbling, so that you won't have that warble problem. And this printer actually has like some warble detection, I guess, that it'll try to make it smoother. But yeah, usually if you slow it down, which there again, I know it makes it take a lot longer to print, but that will help a little bit as far as that warble. And then, of course, if you make it faster, that goes faster, but you get more warble, so you may not want to do that. So yeah, try to slow it down. Maybe that if you're having trouble with how it's coming out. There again, everybody's print settings are different, so you may want to, play with your print settings if you're having stringing or if you're having all sorts of weird problems. There again, I mean, printers are coming down in price. It might be worth getting a really good printer. This one is, to me, is kind of mid-range. Definitely if you can get a better printer than this, even that will help you have really nice prints. So I would recommend that. Don't get your cheap $100 printer. Get a good $200 or $300 printer. And if you really have the money, if you just have money to burn, yeah, definitely spend the big money for something really nice. I'm not going to name brands because I don't really want to do that. I know this Creality, I already named that brand, but whatever. You know what I'm saying. Just find you a good one. Don't go with cheap. Cheap is cheap, and cheap you get what you pay for. So that's that. I hope you have fun printing it, and I hope it works out great for you. Now, of course, once you get everything printed, the valves you will need to sand. They are kind of like slightly oversized, like 0.1 millimeter, I think, all the way around. So you will need to sand that off to get it to go into these valves. Now, if your 3D printer makes the inside of the valves not flat, you may have to sand the inside of this too, which that might be difficult to do. But you could get a block of wood and glue some sandpaper to it. And I usually use like, was it 300 grit sandpaper? Well, actually, I use like 150 and then 300. So try doing that, and make sure your valves are sanded. I would try to avoid sanding the manifold, the cylinders, if you can help it, just because it's a little more difficult. Maybe all you need to do is sand the valves, and that's good enough. That's what I do. But anyway, that's one thing you can do. And I don't know if there's any other questions I can answer, but I'm happy to answer them. If you just leave comments in the comments section, I'll try my best to look at it every now and then and try to respond. Just let me know if I can help. Y'all have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.